Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, your favorite orthodontist and craniofacial orthopedist. And yes, here to do another video, well, no, on happiness in dentistry. I know I've been making a lot just because so many of you guys have just reaching out to me saying you're burnt out, you want to quit, you see what I'm doing, you're like, how can I do this? I'm like, oh no, you don't want to do this. It takes a very special person to do what I'm doing, and I don't think most of you could do it. And to be honest, that's why I've come out as very much autistic, because it's going to take a very special person to do what I'm doing. I don't think a neurotypical person could do this. No offense. Stick with the dentistry. But yeah, I think that someone asked me, how can you tell the difference between an NPD and an autistic? And I was like, yikes. Okay, I've been asked that before because I want to be clear that that's not me. So I did like a lot of research on it. And then I looked into dentistry and I found out that, hypothetically speaking, we probably have a lot more autistics per capita in the dental population than the average per capita, than the regular population of non-dentists. And we probably also have a lot more narcissistic NPD people as well. It's because you make a lot of money and you have a lot more power. So let's break that down and how you can know the difference. And I think that's something you do need to know, because if there's somebody, I really encourage all of you, if you have someone that maybe you don't jive with, don't just assume they're narcissists, because they might just be autistic. And just because they're maybe stubborn or they're arguing with you doesn't mean that they're a bad person. So let's break it down, how you know who's who, and then who you want to stay away from moving forward. So, because yeah, one is very different than the other. So ASD, or autism spectrum disorder, is again on a spectrum. You can be ASD, you can also be ADHD, you can have a variety of different things. You can be OCD, things like that. And honestly, dentistry is very much a neurodivergent profession because it really rewards people who have attention to detail, and that is the autistic people and the ADHD people. So it's both. So I would guess that 30 to 40% of my dental school class was spicy as heck. That's probably why I liked my class so much. We were fun. Really, really fun. So autistic individuals frequently crave authentic connections, but miss or struggle to decode unwritten social nuances, hierarchies, and tone. So you can be having a conversation with an autistic person, and they just might not quite get the conversation, or they look like they're not getting in, or maybe they're taking in a different direction, or like, why are they rambling? This is just somebody that just is missing the social cues. And to be honest, it does hold you back. It does hold you back in dentistry. If you don't have those social cues, you're going to have a harder time with patients unless you're crazy masking. And that was one of the things that I definitely had, because the more tired I got, the less I could mask by the end of the day. And that's right when all the chaos hit with all the teenagers coming in after school. And I would just lose my ability to handle all those patients. It would just really burn you out. So I think that was definitely part of the issue. Autistic individuals also prioritize objective truth, precision, clarity, and fairness over social politics. They're not trying to manipulate anyone. They're just trying to be fair and get the heck out of there. And definitely, one thing that helped me a lot was definitely eating lunch on my own. I think for a while I was eating lunch with everybody, and then I was like, dude, I need like 30 minutes of peace. So I would just go, sit in my car or whatever, and people thought that was antisocial. And I used to honestly, like, actually get written up for it, like by office managers. I'm like, really, this is my time? But no, they would write me up for not being a team player. So just some of the things. And I was like, I'm just really tired. Can I just have 30 minutes? But no. Okay, where's NPD? Let's talk about NPD. So NPD is a deeply ingrained personality disorder formed in early childhood, maladaptive, a defense mechanism against severe emotional trauma, neglect, or lack of love. So NPDs generally will really have a false sense of self. They'll think they're super awesome, even though everyone can see they're probably not that awesome. And also, they really care what other people think. And I think that's one main thing, is that, if how you looks like on the outside is an idol and a lens, that's going to be an issue. So let's see. In terms of the general population, NPD is only supposed to be 1 to 5%, but it's possibly a lot more, in dental populations, just because of the ego and the money that comes with it and the power. So I think these are things to keep in mind. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about modern dentistry and stress, and why a lot of times these personality issues come out, and why you might have a lot of difficulty communicating with people in your practice, especially those who might be, in a hierarchy. So obviously, dental school debt is insane right now. It is insane. It is stress, and a lot of times when people get out, they realize that they have to really give up a lot of their self-care and time in order to be able to make the money to pay back their student loans. It is crushing. It's very crushing. You want to take out the least amount of money as possible, and live like a student for at least 4 to 5 years after you graduate. That is the other key. Do not be buying cars right out of school. And honestly, all the narcissists in my dental class all showed up on the last day, all their cars and all this stuff. Oh my goodness, it was hilarious. Last day of graduation, I know who's the narcissist. Let's see. Also, I think the quotas really encourage narcissism in dentistry, and sometimes the KPIs, and sometimes it's just not possible for all of us to live up to that quota. Like, there are definitely people who want to practice dentistry and take it at a slower pace and do really good quality work, and there is nothing wrong with that, and there's always going to be plenty of patients who want to go to a dentist like that. And there's also going to be patients that don't care. They just want it as fast, as quick as possible. They want a smooth talker that just gets it done, and they don't care about the quality. So there's going to be room for both kinds of dentists out there, and the patients are going to find you. The problem is, if you're that kind of person that wants to take it slow and easy and focus on detail and not be rushed and not be pressured, well, you can't be in a DSO, okay? So, and you probably can't be in private practice unless it's your own. So I would strongly recommend considering an AEGD GPR or specializing. You need to be as high as possible, in terms of your education, what you learn in school. I think school is a little more protective in terms of learning than in clinic. It's just the wild, wild west. So I would learn as much as possible in school, even if you got to do fellowships or wwhatever else. Yes, money's going to be tight during that time, but it is worth it, and try to save as much money as possible. Yes, because I can tell you, having been friends with a lot of office managers at some of these DSOs and stuff like that, because I was young when I got out and I was the same age as them, the pressure that they're put under is just disgusting. Like, it is so cruel the way they are treated. They are treated just as bad, if worse, than the dentists are, for sure. And I feel so terrible for the way sometimes these team members are treated by these populations. So, this goes out to everyone in dentistry and in medicine. Just be cautious of your NPDs. Run away. If you get one, I would run the heck away. Run the heck away. It's never going to work out. So you need to be, and that's why I think unless you have your own practice, you need to always be prepared to pivot, especially if you are, not neurotypical. If you are neurodivergent, be prepared to pivot. I think that was the mistake I made. I got too comfortable because it was good for a while until it got really bad. And then that really shook my core because I was like, what did I do? Now I see it from a different lens, and I'm like, oh, I should have just never gone into that. But, now I know. So if you know, you know. All right. Hopefully that helps bring you some encouragement. And I just want to say, if anyone wants any of the resources that I basically digested in order to make this video, I'm super glad to give you all the resources, books, content that I've read, podcasts. I'm not going to post them on here just because I just want the good guys to get it. So reach out to me directly if you want to learn more. And obviously I'm not monetizing this because this is not my profession. I'm just trying to help you guys. All right, thanks.